Is it worth it to try to go after both Alec Mills and John Lester so they can pitch against each other? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Obviously, if you pick two pitchers in any day that are facing each other, obviously you increase your chances for a win because all you need is one guy to do well. The worst of the best, of course, is where it's 1-0 going into the fifth inning for one guy, and sorry, 1-0 going into the ninth inning for both. The worst is when they all blow up and nobody even has a win. It's very hard to make the calculus to actually avoid or make it. I don't really have, I don't really know, to be honest, what the statistics are in there. I would say, though, if you need a win, then it does maximize your chances. So if wins are a thing, stacking is probably a good idea, even if it's against each other. But in terms of ratios or anything else, it's really probably doesn't matter at all. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I don't love when they pitch against each other because I don't know really to know who to root for. I'm rooting for both of them, and it doesn't. It's kind of a weird feeling. You want to do well, but you don't want to do too well. You want to get that one run and sneak it out. But if they're both available and you have roster spots for both of them, and they're both two start, I don't really care if they're pitching against each other though.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's a small limiting factor to say that they stack and they play against each other. So do your best judgment to get the best player. Match up against each other regardless is, I guess, the advice. Injury report time. All right, only a couple more of these for the end of the season. Who do we got right now?
Okay, we'll start with some bad news. We'll start with Joe Adell, who's placed on the IL with a left abdominal strain. We don't know how bad it is, but we know that it's bad enough to keep him out for the rest of the year. Framber Valdez, who is dealing with a cut on his index finger. He was scratched from his last start this week, but he's supposed to start this coming Monday, so he's a possible two-start. So if you have him, use him. Wander Franco was placed on the IL with a right hamstring strain. It's not considered serious, and he is expected to return next week. Tyler Gilbert was placed on the IL with left elbow inflammation. We don't know how bad it is, but with 2 weeks left in the season, there's little reason why the Diamondbacks are going to try to push him to return, so don't really think about it. You can just drop him. I mentioned Chris Taylor also. He's missed the last week of games. So he hasn't been put on the IL. It's a great question as to whether he's going to come back. I think he will come back, and I think they'll probably come back sometime mid next week, only because the Dodgers want him to get him back into form when it comes time for the playoffs. Some updates on some players. Mike Trout has been basically ruled out for the rest of the year. If you have Jacob deGrom, he may give you maybe a couple of innings the rest of the year. I wouldn't put any money on it at this point. So the over-under for 1 inning, I think it's going to be the under there. Johnny Cueto, he has done some catch, but has not done any mound work, so we don't know if he's going to be back this year. Chris Bassett, surprisingly enough, he's trending to return before the season ends. He may have only an abbreviated start, but he is trending. He already had a couple bullpen sessions done, so he looks good. And I also want to mention Jesus Aguilar, who is also going to be done for the year. So if you have him, you can drop him. You have confidence he's not coming back for the rest of the year.
Wow, that would be really fantastic if Bassett pitches again this year.
It's a great story. It's a really a great story. I'm wondering if he'll wear a mask just like Kevin Pillar did when he came back while he pitches. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I would assume they'll wear something. But yeah, that was such a shame. He was pitching absolutely unbelievable, and
The one positive is this: it did cut down on his innings, which means that he's going to be fresh and they don't have to worry about him getting tired toward the end of the year. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but you know what? Sometimes things work out for strange reasons and we don't know why.
possible. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Before we go, why don't we just let everybody know where they can find your work, Ruvain, and where they can reach you?
You can follow me on Twitter at MLB Injury Guru, where I tweet out injury updates when they will be back, who's going to take them, who's going to take their place, how long the player is going to be out for, whether they'll be out for the rest of the year or not. And you can catch my weekly Roto Bowler article that comes out on Saturday or Sunday regarding FAB and injury updates.
And I'm Ariel Cohen. You can find my stuff over and on Fangraphs at Rotobowler and Sportsline. You can follow me on Twitter at ATCNY. And, of course, listen to me right here on the Beat the Shift podcast presented by Fangraphs. Now, Ruvain, I think that pretty exciting stuff. Next month, we are both going to be at First Pitch Arizona presented by Baseball HQ. And our show is going to be done live.
Yes, that is going to be very interesting. We've never done a live show in front of a as they say, studio audience, so it's going to be a little bit interesting.
Yeah, and there is still some room, I am told, at Baseball HQ. If you would like to attend, first of all, it's a great conference. Meet a lot of people, get great information ahead of the 2022 season. If you would like to attend, you can still do that. If you'd like a discount code, just message me privately. I'll hook you up with that. And you can come see us do the show live. So we're very much looking forward to that. We'll also have a bunch of episodes, recapping the season, what went right, what went wrong, strategy, what we can do better, what was just process risk, what was just something that we need to work on. We'll dissect the season. We've got a long time in the off season to do that, but we'll definitely get a bunch of those episodes there and the live one. So it's going to be an exciting next couple of months for us. Next week, I guess, is the final regular season one, right? But with just one more waiver wire period left.
Yep, and just remember, if you're in a 15-team league, only one team can win. So if you're in the other 14, you fall in the rest of the pack. Let's wait till next year.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for our show. Thanks again, Ruvain, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Beat the Shift podcast presented by Fangraphs. Follow us on Twitter at beat_shift_pod.